Hello everyone, this is George Himmen at the Rookwood Pottery. We're going to try to get me through another day of live little vignettes from the pottery. We are in the bisque department today, and so what I want you to do is look above me here at this top rack, and I'll explain part of what you're seeing. This is hand-thrown work by our potters, Morgan Willenbrink and Warren Tomczyk. And what you're looking at are the statement vases, a large form in the back with a smaller form in the front. And so our process going forward is that we might do glaze experimentation on a smaller form in order to get as close to glaze perfection on the extra large statement vase as possible. So this one might actually be a disaster and you never see it in our showroom or on the website, versus the large one in the back. The glaze artist learned from what they're doing on the little one and trying to achieve the perfection on the top piece. So that's a little bit of our background information on these pieces. Can you walk with me? And you can see a vast array of different styles. Florals. So maybe there's a future Mother's Day offering featuring florals. We have a tendency to do that for the moms we love. A modernistic piece, a reticulated cutout, geometric parts, patterns, a little Nouveau inspiration. Back to more geometrics, more Nouveau. And then a classic theme, we have ginkgo leaves. And so you can see here how beautiful these pieces are. And just so everyone knows, I'm also in charge of creating custom 2-foot tall pieces. If you ever have a legacy piece that you would want to create. So, this is the exciting part of the hand-thrown line, something that the true collectors get very excited about. And if you've participated in our hand-thrown collections, you know how quickly they disappear if you're trying to get one online when we launch. Okay, now we're going to take you to our 140th anniversary collection. Hopefully walking through the pottery here doesn't make people dizzy at home. And hopefully one of my assistants doesn't fall backward and trip over something. So thank you, Amy and Amanda, who are doing the filming.
We do have a question.
All right.
Leonard asked, does everyone use the same clay body?
No, in Rookwood, because we essentially have an architectural tile department, we have potters who throw unique forms. We also have a slip cast molded department. And then every once in a while we have substantial architectural pieces. So we essentially have 4 different clay bodies that we use. Now, the commonality between all 4 clay bodies, for those of you who know, we fire at code 6, which is essentially a glaze firing around 2185 degrees Fahrenheit. And so, all of our clay bodies, all 4, are matched to our glaze recipes so that they all behave nicely together at those firing temperatures. All right, let's go over to the
Hey George,
140th.
before we walk to the 140th, can you point out what's behind you and tell a little bit about this piece?
Okay, what's behind me is our bisque kiln. This is a 100 cubic foot gas-fired kiln. You can see the rollers here. We fill up a part. You can see it at the distance over there with all the shelving units. So right now, it's firing. Doors can open up on either side. So sometime today, this door gets open. We pull the cart out. We have product that has gone from the greenware state to the bisque state, fired at 1900 degrees. So it's essentially turned to stone. All right, and when it is turned to stone, then we take it to the next step, the glazing. And so this entire department here is dedicated to the bisque firing at 1900 degrees. So, ready?
Yep.
All right, this is where it gets cool and exciting. We have our 140th anniversary collection. So what you see on the tabletops here, various pieces that we will be offering over the next 3 days in an auction format where we release a collection somewhere between 10 and 15 pieces per day. These are all hand-thrown unique pieces. Some are beautifully carved. Some will have fantastic glaze effects. So there's something pretty much for everyone. If you're local to Cincinnati, we are open in our showroom with all COVID precautions. So if you want to come in and preview in person, you can see these in person. And trust me, most of them look 10 times better in person than what you're going to see through the photograph on our website when it launches. Let's do a close-up of a really, really cool glaze. Because some people have asked, why are these pieces part of a 140th anniversary collection? Okay? Here we have the 140th mark. This particular piece was thrown by Lauren Tomczyk. She has a full signature along with her stamped artist impression, the Rookwood logo, and then the date along with S, which means special shape, hand thrown. And the L is for large, which has to do with the height of the piece. So all these markings will be on the bottom, but that 140th stamp, I've been collecting Rookwood for decades, and anniversary stamps tend to be something that collectors want to have in their collection. So if you are a true collector and bitten by the Rookwood bug, like so many are, you want to be a part of this celebration. But 1889, 1900, Rookwood won gold medals in Paris based on glazes. Is my phone flashlight doing it justice?
It is.
So
So glittery.
this is our new brown aventurine glaze on a dragonfly motif, where the glaze gives you these beautiful gold tones and then these rich sparkles. This glaze currently is the modern evolution of the gold medal winning glazes of 1889 and 1900. Let me check out this one here. A reticulated piece, beautiful, you can see the sparkles, but look what's happening as the glaze channels. Do you see the orange lines? Goldstone Tiger Eye glaze was what we won gold medals with over 100 years ago. And in my mind, I believe we've recreated a very close approximation of that particular glaze. Check this out.
We did have someone ask, do you ever recreate exact replicas of from the first years? From Pothead Pottery.
Do we recreate from the first years? If it is a molded form, we might recreate it, but the thing that we do to update is it will have the current Roman numeral date of production. So if a piece was designed in, let's say, 1924 or even 1880, we would put an MMXX on the bottom so that if you're a collector, you can differentiate it from something that was actually made 100 years ago. Beautiful gold tones. So what's happening on the neck of this vase? The brown aventurine melts, thins. It gives you the golden matte to the translucent honey tones, coming down to the rich sparkles. Glaze is incredible. It tends to vary on every form, tends to find all the nuances of the piece, and just create its own magic. So if you are truly a glaze geek like I am, these are some special pieces. Okay, I'm going to stop and move over to some historically significant ones.
And George, with the blow on in the background, if you could talk really loud,
Okay.
For our viewers, we'd appreciate it. It is a little noisy. That's the blow that's actually turned on, which is why we're hearing that kind of fuzzy noise, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, is that better? Can you hear me now? Wonderful. Some other pieces that are part of today's auction offering. Now, for those local to Cincinnati or who have been to the Carew Tower, we have two extra large hand-thrown, hand-carved tributes to Rookwood's Carew Tower tile installation that dates back to 1929 and 1930. Thrown and carved by Morgan Willenbrink, hand decorated, this one by Renee Harris. This is a very close artist approximation of the actual tile installations, a very Art Deco design. And on the bottom here, the 1/40th, Renee Harris's artist signature, Morgan Willenbrink, also with a full signature. And then this piece here, this one I think we had a video on previously of Heidi decorating. So there's Heidi's signature, again Morgan, double signed with the 1/40th. So each piece is incredibly unique and a tribute to the Carew Tower tile installation. And for those of you who don't know about the Carew Tower building project back in '29, it was right before the Great Depression where George Emery, who built the building, withdrew his funds out of the stock market right before the crash that started the Great Depression. And as a result of being liquid in cash, he was able to continue building, and locally to Cincinnati, he kept hundreds, if not 1,000 people employed with that project in the midst of the Great Depression. So the Rookwood tile that is down at Carew Tower almost didn't happen if he waited another 6 months to withdraw his funds from the stock market. Kind of cool little bit of history. And if you ever come for a tour, that's the kind of stuff that bubbles out of my brain that sometimes I don't even know where it comes from until it's out. Beautiful carved, reticulated piece. And so this tabletop, Peru Tower, this green piece, plus all the gold stone, the sparkly ones that we showed before, these are the collection that goes live on our auction format today at 11 o'clock. And so if you want to participate, there you go. And I think we're going to give you a teaser shot of Saturday's collection and also Sunday. So I'm going to run behind the other side of the table. Here we have day 2 of the auction. This is the largest piece in the collection at 27¼ inches. A very classic water jug. The cobalt blue is splashed over the top of it liberally, as if someone's carrying it down the road back to the house and the water keeps splashing over.
George, give that a hit with your flashlight because we love the colors.
Okay, when this one goes to brilliant light, you will see kind of a regal purple. I think it's picked up some dust. Different shades of blue, a little bit of blue to purple on a white crackle. Just a magical piece. True one of a kind. Now this one here, crystals, but look what's happening on the bottom. And so when you see striations like that, that's a mingling of 2 and 3 different glazes at times that very often we don't even know the outcome until it appears. Here we have hand-painted milkweed seeds by Deborah Smith. So we have 3 hand-decorated, almost like a summer day in the backyard where the milkweed seeds are just drifting across the sky. Beautifully done. A quick
PSA for those that are asking. What you're hearing in the background over here is our blow. That is our gas-fired kiln that is actually on, creating new product. So we apologize. We are talking as loud as we can, and I'll have George talk a little louder.
Okay. This collection here looks like chrome over iron-rich Sasha glaze. So these are iron crystals. But the interesting part about this family is that when they are in full sunlight, this chrome reflective metallic glaze can actually look like a translucent green. It's actually magical and transformative. You can see a little bit here on the top rim, but in bright sunlight, that whole shoulder might go to a translucent green. So a kind of a magical chameleon-like glaze. But I do want to highlight this big one in the background. Look what's happening up top. Beautiful green crystals. And if you can see the green tones now, this is what will transform into a gloss green. It will come down the body. Very often, you can see the beautiful drips. There may be a black line in the middle. This one is elegant. I'm going to hold it up so you can get a better look. A majestic piece at 25 inches tall.
Gorgeous.
And if we tried to recreate this 20 times, we may never get another one this good. Okay, that is day 2 offering. Now let's go to day 3, where again, we've chosen some glazes. This is now green aventurine. And I hope the sparkles show up. Where green aventurine tends to pool and thicken, you get beautiful microcrystalline sparkle. And so, because it is such a unique glaze, a beautiful glaze, this is one that was meant to be on 140th anniversary pieces. We also have blue aventurine. This one is a whimsical cloud design by Lauren Tomczak. And so you get blue sparkles. Let me move around a little bit. I'm going to pass on this guy for now. More blue aventurine. Fantastic hand carving for that beautiful shoulder. Then we have a Nouveau inspired design with blue aventurine again. And then we have a gorgeous relief carved leaf design with green aventurine. So these are for Sunday. Oh, and we have a big one too. This one is 23 3/4, so almost 2 feet tall. The green aventurine going down to Sahara tan, giving you some tan, but also some pearlescent highlights on the bottom there. Very flowing, drippy, but magical with the green aventurine. Now let's go back to the medallion base. All this magic is created by only 2 glazes. We have our Spark crystalline glaze, which is the white. We have Caldera cobalt blue. So the blue sprayed up to about here, faded, and the white sprayed here heavy and then faded downward. Where the 2 mix, they become super fluid and create all these elegant drips. They tend to move around the medallions, and all these medallions were hand applied. So a magical piece, kind of Asian inspired, and by the way, Rookwood's premier #1 historic artist, Kotaro Shiryanadani from Japan. His pieces are incredibly desired by collectors, but my hunch is the master would approve of this particular piece. Okay, a few more for Sunday. Art Nouveau inspired 2 glazes, which is Quinn white over graphite, which goes from green to kind of hints of grayish chrome. A beautiful piece, wonderfully carved. This is what I call Papa Bear, and then we have Baby Bear here in a smaller form. Same glaze combination, but if you like Art Nouveau, this one is a gorgeous piece.
George, some of those colors look like they almost become iridescent. Is that
Every once in a while, depending on the lighting, you'll pick up something that looks like an iridescence or an oil slick.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you know, glaze is one of these things that the more you tend to look, the more you tend to find. Now, phenomenal hand-decorated vase by Heidi Shannon. A beautiful glaze fade done by our glaze artists at the spray booth. So it's a white up to a green shoulder, but hand-decorated pussy willows circling the vase. A phenomenal piece. And hopefully we will now have a hand-decorated line that continues going forward. But this is also something that if you ever want to commission a piece, I can help with that. You see the 1/40th mark, the HHS for Heidi Shannon, Lauren Tomczyk's full signature along with her stamped artist impression. So,
now, George, this piece looks like some of the painting has almost like a relief.
Yeah, it has actual texture because when you use what's called underglazes, you have to do a brush stroke layering to get proper color saturation. And so this one definitely has texture, as do Deborah Smith's milkweed seeds. But the pussy willows, just like when I was a kid, I used to have a pussy willow bush next door where I would pet them. Running your fingers across that for me is reminiscent of the pussy willow bush next door. So, any questions?
None right now. You got two more.
Oh, these, almost forgot, are carved by Morgan Willenbrink. They are a single glaze application. And so one of the cool things about our glaze chemistry here at Rookwood, and all of these glazes, we do the recipes here on site, we do the glaze batching here on site. These are not commercially available glazes. So what you see here is Baby Bear, Papa Bear with our Bermuda glaze. A single glaze application, but where it thickens, it gives you beautiful cobalt blues. Where it thins, it gives you incredible green tones with a hint of yellow. And so a single glaze that transforms a piece, and it typically accentuates the carving. To me, this looks like something from a tropical rainforest where the rain is just dripping down the leaves, and phenomenal pieces. And every once in a while, Amy, I know you like to show what's inside.
I do.
You get a little interesting addition to the glaze work. A little white line about 1.5 inches deep there. Here's another interesting interior. Can you get that?
I can.
So sometimes some of the magic is on the inside of the neck of the piece in addition to what's on the outside.
So George, you're the star of Rookwood today. We're going to be doing some more live videos with you. Okay. Tell us what else you have in store for us.
Oh my goodness. At some point, the evil genius behind the camera here has suggested that I'm going to be throwing clay on the wheel with the potters. Now, is that today or is that tomorrow?
That's on Sunday.
That's on Sunday. There will be an archival tour where I am featuring hopefully the Avo Bears, and who knows what we may get into in the archives, because there are only 3,200 of the old molds that date all the way back to 1880. It's a magical place, Oh, and by the way, we better make sure that we have reception down there because of all the concrete down there.
Okay.
We'll get it figured out for you.
So we'll see you again then, I guess, around 1 and 3 p.m., correct?
Awesome.
Awesome.
Look forward to it. Hope you enjoyed this. And please look for these auction items Friday, Saturday, Sunday with a new collection launched each day at 11 o'clock. Hope you get a piece for your collection and can participate in our 140th anniversary celebration. Thank you. Take care.